different eyes for perception. We then follow and we have a seeking to understand. You begin to see magic in the mundane, and it's so fun. Yesterday, I was at my house and I have half the house packed up to go to California and the other half is just a mess. And all of a sudden they called and said, "We want to show the house." Oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? Okay, I try to quickly assess. I have time to vacuum the floors. I have time to do this. I have time to do that. I can get the toilets clean. I can do that. I can shove that box there. But how am I ever going to blow off the deck and the thing down to the lake? And I don't have time for that. That's just going to end. Proof there at the front door was the guy, the long guy. He just showed up at my door right then. That's seeing the magic in the mundane. That's what happens when you open to spirit. Acting on the answers you receive during our moments, you experience the magic of the sacred truths and the epiphanies. Eureka described a magical moment. So did Eddie's expression of growing understanding. How about the moment of Buddha and the flower for that one disciple? That was a magical moment. Seeking to understand. And then we move into developing our own spiritual gifts, which is what we're doing now. We have them, we're developing them, we're growing them. You begin to consciously seek a deeper connection to spirit. Our connection to spirit is like heroin. When our soul touches the connection to spirit, it's got to have more. There is nowhere else our soul wants to be, and it will seek and seek and seek relentlessly until it gets there. So, and wisdom from the inner teacher, reflection upon and autopsying the steps of the owl moment and your mindful, still point, present moment awareness, your gifts develop. That's why I want you to find the aha moment and then practice them, and then autopsy them. That's how we develop the awareness, the innate, the present moment. How many times have we spoken in this last hour about practicing and that it is something we have to do? It is like a practice. And then once we do all that, we have to own it. If we don't own it, then what's it all about? You start to trust your connection with Source. So when you get the answer, you no longer say, "Oh, I don't know whether I can do that." You just know. Okay, that's what I need to do, because I've been shown that if I don't do that, it doesn't work out well, okay? And we go through this, and many times as we fall down on our face until we finally say, "Wow, I got the answer, I better do what I've been told, and I better do because it's going to be the right answer." Experiencing our moments and living the truth of their answers is what allows us to build our trust. We see the effect of the answer. When we say, I now know why that answer came through. Even though we didn't see it then, we have the proof later on that says, now I see why. Once you experience the fullness of spirit, it is always available to you. It's available to you right now. Always there. You just become still. It's your spiritual legacy. And then we must reintegrate with our soul. You begin to manifest a life that is in true alignment with your highest self. Here you sit. You have manifested where you are right now, listening to a keynote about how to teach with spirit, because that is how you are aligned with it. Wisdom from the inner teacher tells us your life is lived from the guidance you receive from your inner teacher you teach with spirit. Moments like the break dancers and Eddie become commonplace. The synchronicities of life, the grass guy standing at the front door at that moment becomes commonplace. That's how living with spirit, teaching with spirit lives. Are we still centered? Are we still quiet? We're going to go into an imagination right now, and it is your choice. I'm ready for the next one. It is your choice if you want to keep your eyes closed and listen to this, or whether or not you want to just watch or listen. It's up to you. But get yourself still and quiet. And because we're letting our imagination flow, so whatever works for you. So I would like you to turn on your imagination button. And you're in your right brain now. So your imagination is at the ready for you to dream, imagine, and create. You're all set, ready to go. You've reflected and relived when and how you were called to teach. The reliving of your calling has reignited or increased your passion for your service. You are now standing in the manifestation of your calling, your classroom. Your classroom is filled with the souls that have been allotted to you for your protection, guidance, and learning. Breathing deeply, rooting yourself in Mother Earth, you send out, or actually ask within, for Spirit to embody you, to guide your every thought, word, and action. Connecting to Spirit in your way, through your chosen sacred words or mantra, you wait for how and when you know your mind, body, and spirit has aligned, and you feel Spirit within you. All the students' eyes are on you. You look at each student in the eye and connect. You feel the individual connection to each student. The flow of energy riding within you is flowing out through your heart to each student's heart. It's fluid, flowing, powerful, and constant. The vibration of the entire classroom has risen, for you are the teacher, and the level of your vibration sets the atmosphere. If you are in the lowest levels of David Hawkins' scale of consciousness, shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, or anger, the vibration will lower. However, feel the lighter vibrations of consciousness, courage, willingness, acceptance, love, joy, peace, very significant for Montessorians, and enlightenment. By accepting your calling, you agree to the responsibility of the students that are destined to be guided by you. We each are responsible for the level of our own consciousness. We continue to look interiorly and study ourselves as Maria Montessori and Socrates guides us, learning about our awareness of our mind, body, spirit, its alignment and connection to our inner teacher. The more connected we are to Spirit, the greater the effect of our actions, whether those actions be in the classroom or anywhere. This keynote and conference could be entitled Live with Spirit. What we are learning, how we are shifting, and how much we are receiving Spirit affects every aspect of our life. Experiencing Spirit, Michael Singer, the author of The Untethered Soul, tells us, you have a wellspring of beautiful energy inside of you. When you are open, you feel it. When you are closed, you don't. This flow of energy comes from the depth of your being. It's been called many names: Chi, Shakti, Spirit. That spiritual energy is what you're experiencing when love reaches into your heart. Like the parent in the airplane that must take the oxygen first before giving it to the child to assure that the parent stays awake to care for the child, so it is necessary for the teacher, for you, to become filled with Spirit before you can have students become filled with Spirit. Back to your classroom. Imagine that in addition to all the expertise, training, and skills you have learned, all the curriculum, the creative learning centers, how to guide for discovery, that you have guided your students to learn and behold all that we have just learned in this hour. As you witness them experiencing owl moments and share the joy of the learning moment, you teach them the process and together reflect upon the conditions that were necessary for them to reach that understanding. Children, of course, live in their right brain. They are ripe for it. The way of mindful education tells us this: when we are directly present to our students, we are able to track each student's needs. Students feel seen, and we as teachers feel greater competency. We can shift out of the frantic need to succeed and turn our classrooms into laboratories of presence, where we are collaboratively cultivating our attention. So I ask you to please take your practices of yoga in the classrooms and walks on the labyrinths to a new and deeper level. Imagine that all of your students are fully embodied with spirit and that their thoughts, words, and actions are being led by spirit. Imagine how that will change the world. To teach with spirit, we live with spirit in ourselves, and when we guide our students to understand and experience spirit, we are fulfilling our calling. Imagine and feel the enormity of that. Thank you for your interest and focus and your extra time that you have given me. Thank you again for following your calling. Go forth and teach with spirit.